welcome back to the Her Story, My Story podcast. We are so happy that you are here. I am your host, Abby, and your host,
Jayne.
And as always, we love to share our conversations with you all, and we invite you to be a part of it with us. And if you do have any questions or responses to some of the things that you've heard, please feel free to reach out to us. So here we are in Africa, sitting down on Janie's couch. So Janie, how are you doing? What's on your heart today?
I am well, thank you. So, what's on my heart today? Oh, there are so many things. So let me see if I can just...
I know that was a pretty big question.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about talking about safety?
Safety in Africa.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely a question a lot of people think about, especially when they think about the idea of going to Africa and living in Africa. I think that's one of the first things that people think about is how safe is it? Because one of the things that we looked at was safety, when we're moving to Africa from America or from anywhere really, and especially like if you have family. Like I have my kids and I want to know, are they going to be safe? Like is the safety like in that area? Like what is the crime rate, if any? What kind of crimes happen? How safe is it to step outside my door, go to the store, different things like that.
So prior to moving here, as you said, we looked at these things, and so Rwanda is well known for safety, right? Because most of the crime that happens here is petty crime.
Petty, pickpocketing.
Yeah, or
opportunist.
Right, crimes of opportunity. I was going to say that too, because that's huge, right? Like, don't be just leaving your stuff out. Don't just leave your stuff out unless you are sure that you're around people that are trustworthy. And that's something that's built over time, right?
Yes.
You just, okay, because I know. So I think we have to be conscious of that. But also, prior to moving here, in addition to safety, like cleanliness, because that does go along with safety, right? Because if you're in a dirty, nasty, you may be prone to illness and catching stuff, right?
Yeah, just, from like a person-to-person standpoint, but also like personal health.
Right. I was looking at, maybe I shouldn't name countries, but I was doing some research the other day, and they're talking about how people, in some countries, people just spit on the ground and keep walking. All that stuff is nasty. Right. And I'm not saying that Americans don't do that.
I was going
to
say that sounds a little bit, yeah.
But I don't see it that much here, though. I don't see it as much. But when I was looking at this other country, it's how people hawking, spitting, right beside you. Like you could be standing there, and they would do that right beside you. You're scared to eat there because of the food. All that stuff is in the air. Right? It becomes airborne, right?
Yes.
And so I don't see a lot of that in Rwanda. Actually, maybe once or twice.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever, at least to my memory, I don't think I've ever seen anybody just spit.
Yeah. So cleanliness matters, right? And that does go along with safety.
Absolutely.
And one of my friends told me a while ago. She said that she has never been stolen from as much as when she came here. So again, that is from house help and all that. So it's not everyone. But like in the States, we have people who still, right? So
and it's different though.
It is different because I think here maybe.
Do you think there's more of a crossover?
What do you mean?
So this is only one aspect, I feel. Here in Rwanda, it's very customary to have somebody come into your home and cook for you, or come into your home and clean it for you, or have like a nanny come in. Like it's very customary. It's very like part of the culture, right? I think in America, that's more like you would be really rich, right, to have house
that.
help like that. Here, it's very customary. Even like the quote unquote middle class, if that's what they have here, like they still have people coming in and helping with cleaning, cleaning in the house, cleaning outside of the house, things like that. And it's hard to know where they come from, but like people who don't have a whole lot of money, they're coming into our home, and even though we're not really rich, you know what I'm saying, to I guess our own standards. I'm having a hard time articulating this, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, going back to what you were saying as far as like the opportunistic, to see money laying around, you know, which I feel like in America, we don't think about that. Like, I just have my stuff out. I think to myself, okay, I need this amount of money for this, I need this amount of money for this, and maybe I'll have it organized on the counter. Because I don't think anybody's just going to come over and pick it up and put it in their pocket. But I also don't have anybody in my house like that in America.
I was going to say that's a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
We don't have house help.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so that's the difference.
So I feel like it's like it's almost like a paradigm shift for me, because I wonder if people here are like, why do they just leave all their stuff out? Like, don't they know somebody would just take it? They might think they're being so careless.
Maybe.
And it was definitely a learning curve for me, because I was being stolen from pretty regularly, and even in my own home. But I also wasn't thinking like, oh, maybe I should put my stuff up. Like, maybe I should put the things that I care about and things that I need that are of value. I need to take more care of it and put it away, and not create that opportunity for somebody to pick it up and put it in their pocket. Because who knows, maybe they want to get it and go feed their family.
Exactly. I was going to say that poverty, right, creates all of that, right? And many of us may feel like, well, we don't have a whole lot. But to people looking at us, it looks like we have a whole lot. Because it's relative, right? And so, yeah, I think poverty may create that. And then I also think from not my experience, but the experiences I've heard from others. Some people just still in the still.
You mean my experience?
Some people just be taking your stuff.
Just take my stuff. But you know, that's part of like moving here and getting to know who you're working with. And like you said, trust is built over time. You don't really know somebody until you know them.
Yeah. Some lessons are extra hard. And I remember, like I used to say to my daughter when she was younger, I said, you don't have to experience everything to learn. Like, you know, so if I'm telling you something, just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Right. So I learned from your experience. You know, I learned from your mother-in-law's experience. Yeah, definitely. So
you were pretty blessed. You came in with excellent relationships.
Oh yes.
With your staff.
Oh yes, yeah, it's good, right? Like, because I met a house help, my assistant, right, and my driver the first time I came, and they were so good to me. And I remember. Like, as far as our chef goes, and look, y'all, it sounds like we got money. Like, I just want to say for the record, it is not like that.
It's not.
It's really, really not. And when you are able to come here and hire someone and help change their lives, it is so gratifying. It really is. Because not only are they helping us, we're helping them. And that reciprocity,
absolutely,
you know, is amazing. And it doesn't cost us a lot, but it makes a world of difference. It really does, as far as even acclimating to this new environment, right? So before I even came the first time, I was praying around that.
Wow.
Like, help me meet good people. And then when I got here, I met good people, like that are close to me. Like, not everybody, you know. Some people seem good, but you know, they have an agenda. But these three people have been very good to me. And so when I was gone, when I went back to the States, my assistant and I were communicating. Like, she had to do things, right, that involved me sending money here. She never cheated me.
Wow.
Yeah, like she had to pay the farmer, pay security on our land. Small land, you guys. Like, it's so important to me. I don't know why, for people to know that things are different here. Like in the States, you may need $50,000 to buy a piece of land, right? But here, it's different.
It is different.
So yeah, I sent her money. She went to the bank for me. She did those things for me, and she never cheated me. And then as far as our chef goes, who we all love, right?
She's your chef, but she's also the community
yeah,
chef.
she's the community chef. But I remember meeting her. I was staying at an Airbnb, and she was just. It wasn't just the cooking; it's her whole manner, as you know. And shout out to Shaka, right?
I know Shaka.
She's amazing, and she just took such good care of me, and we just clicked. And I know when I got back to the States, I was like, wow, I can't just steal Shaka. Like, that's not right, And then I wrote her, and she told me that she was no longer working where, we met. And I was just like, oh, well, we're coming back shortly, so maybe you could work for us. And she was like, let me know when you get back. And then as far as our driver, okay, so my sister, her name is Divine. Shaka is the chef, and our driver's name is Napoleon. And while I was here, I was really trying to adjust to converting money and stuff like that. I didn't know what I was doing at all. And Napoleon, he didn't even know me, but he was just like, it's okay. You can pay me next time, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I love. Like, that's a really nice thing to do for someone who could just jump on a plane.
Right.
Right. And, yeah, so while we were in the States still, when I knew, when I got our tickets and everything, I wrote each of them. And Alba Shaka was at, like, Napoleon and Divine met us at the airport, which is really cool, because I think we talked about the visa, dude. And then Shaka
and that was
came.
your welcoming home family.
Yeah. So I do trust them.
Yeah.
I do have a strong level of trust for them.
And you gave them the opportunity, like they showed themselves trustworthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What I think is really valuable to know about living here as an expat and not knowing the language and still familiarizing yourself with the culture. There's some very big differences between here and America. Like, the organization of everything is very different. Because I think in America we're so used to convenience. And we can say, oh, I need to get groceries and I have this thing later tonight, but I need to change my shoes. I need a pair of shoes. And, oh, I don't want to come empty-handed, so I want to bring, like, a baked good. Oh, let me just go to Meijer. Like, let me just go to the grocery store. I can get everything in one place. It's not like that here.
Right.
At all. And a lot of times it's hard to know. Like, you could do, like, oh, well, let's just do a quick Google search to find what we're looking for. Even then, a lot of times, I mean, how many times, Janie, have you looked something up and you're like, I want to go there, and you go there, and either they're closed or they've moved to a completely different place.
Yes. Exactly.
I remember one time, Jay and I wanted to try this coffee shop, and we showed up, and they had a fire. So, like, the whole building was shut down, but they were in a different location. And I just was like, okay, well, what's our backup plan, So I say that to say, like, and even like if you want to buy clothes, like, there's so many places to buy clothes here, but you could go to the store and you can say, I really like this top. This is a really cute top. And they can say, we only have 20 of these and they're all in size large. And you're like, well, that's not going to work. I need an XL or I need a small. They don't have it. So I feel like a lot of the stuff that is available here in Africa has been brought here from other places, and it's not necessarily like a rich inventory or diverse. And but on the positive side too, this is just a little tangent, but you can go to the market, which is very busy and chaotic, but you can go to the market and there is beautiful fabric everywhere. And there are multiple seamstresses in the market right there with their sewing machines. And you can pick out a fabric, they can measure you, and they can make you an outfit on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't, I mean, and it's not that expensive.
Right.
So I love that part.
Me too. Like if I see something I want, I'll take a picture.
Yeah.
And then go to the market or show, if the teller comes, shout out to Eugene, like if he comes by, then show him, can you make this? Or do you know someone who can make it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to say all of that because with those differences, and especially when you're coming here and you're just learning the currency, and you don't know where to get stuff, you don't know where to go, you need somebody to help you.
Yes.
And you need somebody you can trust.
That's right.
So we need a housekeeper to be like, this is the soap that you want. This is where you can buy a good mop. This is where you need to get laundry detergent and fabric softener. Okay, they have that here in Africa. Surprise.
Along with indoor bathrooms and all that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Running water.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if it's warm, but it's there.
Yeah.
But anyways, and I just wanted to point out that difference because that's why it's very commonplace to have locals in your home helping you or taking you around the city or telling you where to go or helping you find somebody who can help you get you the things that you need. It's a process.
It really is, and it all speaks to safety.
Yeah.
Like you and I were talking about having your phone in your back pocket, having your phone out, right? You could be in the wrong area or the right area, and that phone could just go. You can get home and find that you don't have a phone anymore.
Yeah.
So it's really good to have someone that you can trust, like you said, and to help keep you safe. Hopefully that person that you choose is all about keeping you, helping to keep you safe. Rather.
Right.
Like helping to keep your money safe, your valuables safe. Like a phone is a big deal. Someone told me that someone could steal your phone and they'll sell it for like $5,000 or $10,000, $5,000 or $10,000. Yeah, we talking Rwanda money.
Like
that's
$7
nothing.
in USD.
And you done paid or may still be paying on this phone.
Stop.
You know the deal. If you know, you know. And and somebody sold it for that small money. Why? 'Cause maybe they needed to eat. I don't know, but it happened. So yeah, safety. Prior to coming to Rwanda, looking at that, I love Rwanda. It's beautiful. But anywhere you go, you need to look at these things and think about them. And I remember like someone asked me, well, how do you feel about the DRC and all that? I'm like, well...
Oh, that's a big topic.
That's a big one.
Because it's right next to Rwanda.
So it's right next door. I guess that would speak to, like, if you're an expat, especially, like, having more than one place to go to if possible, which we have been talking about already. And maybe as we learn more, we can dig into that a little more. But yeah, safety is paramount. I think last Shabbat, I had mentioned that we are immigrants. We are immigrants. And a lot of us have never been an immigrant. So we have to keep that in mind. Like we come to the African continent, we coming back to the motherland. I'm saying from a Black American, I'm putting all that in quotations, perspective, right? We're coming home. But a lot of times the people who are in these particular countries, they're not looking at us as family. We're so far removed. I'm not saying everyone, but it's generation upon generation upon generation. There's a gap that only the Most High can close, and I think we should keep that in mind. That's a part of feeling safe, like knowing, like you might get ripped off because people look at you as a tourist, as a foreigner. So you might get ripped off for that reason. People think you have a lot. You could get ripped off for that reason, or you could just be careless with your stuff, and people be like, "Oh, maybe she don't really want that, so I'm going to take it." I don't know how that works, and like we were talking before we started recording, you and I were talking about going places alone. And I said that I don't really want to go anywhere alone anymore. Like, two is better than one. But you had some thoughts about.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on where you're going and if it's a familiar place. So when I first landed, I was very much like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. And fortunately, my husband had come beforehand, and he had made a connection with a driver who we still use to this day, and he is extremely trustworthy. He is definitely a person of integrity, and grew up in Rwanda all of his life, his entire life, and which I think, except for the genocide, I think he was able to leave and come back.
Okay.
And that was he told me that story, and it was a very beautiful and very moving story. So I don't know, yeah, willing, he might be able to come and talk about it if he wanted to. So we met him, or Jay met him, and he was like, "It's okay," because I was flipping out. I'm like, "I just want to go to the store. I just want to go get a cup of coffee," because I was so used to just, in America, I'm just so used to being like, okay, I'm just gonna go get a cup of coffee, sit in a cafe, read my Bible, journal. And I'm like, I don't know anywhere. I don't know anything. How do I get there? Because the streets are not, where I was living, the streets were not that walkable. And it's just too much traffic. It wasn't safe, right? So I knew I had to call a car, and I called Emmanuel, and he took me to the cafe, and I hung out there by myself, sitting in the cafe. However, there are places that I will not go by myself. And that's like Kimiranko, like the market.
Yeah.
And it's a very lively, fun place to be. I guess fun I don't know, depends on your version of fun. But it's a very busy market. It's an open air market. You go there, you get fresh produce, fresh eggs, herbs, garlic, and then there's little shops all around it where you can get clothing and, ready to drink beverages, anything you want. But I just can't go there by myself because, part of the culture is you just have people coming to you constantly, and they're trying to sell you stuff. It's almost like when you're at the mall in America and there's like the little kiosk, only like times 10.
Yeah, maybe times 100.
100.
It's like crazy.
Because they're like, "You want bananas? You want bananas? You want bananas?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want bananas." But, they don't speak English, and I don't speak Kinyarwandan, so it's just like they just stand there, and they're like, "Bananas, bananas, 1K, 1K, 5K." And I'm like, "I don't need bananas." And they don't, even when you don't want it. I had another local told me, they do that to everyone.
Right.
And you literally just ignore them, and they just stand there. And I just feel bad. Like when they say, like, you just don't look at them. You just say, "No, thank you," and then you have to turn your body and just stop looking at them. And then they finally will leave. But they're very persistent.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about marketing.
Yeah.
Wow. I tell you, because I'm like, goodness, I can learn from the locals that be in
Yeah.
Cameronco, because they are very, very persistent.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how you make a sale, right? You can't be
Right.
shy about it.
But it's hard to
But
say
it's
no.
hard.
It's hard to say no over and over and over again. I feel like I tell my kids no a lot all day long, and then I go out in public and I have to tell. It's just like the core of rejection. Like, no, I'm sure your bananas are delicious, but I don't want them. Please, no, I don't
Right.
want them.
Because if you don't learn how to say no, you'll come home with a barrel full of bananas and pineapples and
Exactly.
all. And you know, how much can you eat?
Yes.
But but yeah, I don't like going to Cameronco. I don't, because I feel, it's just too many people approaching me at one time.
And that's one of those places
Yeah.
where you absolutely don't want to have your phone in your back pocket.
Yeah.
You know, anywhere I go, I always have like a crossbody bag. Everything is
Right.
right in front.
Right.
Maybe I'll have a jacket. You know, everything is zipped up.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but
But
yeah,
it's a good place to go to buy things and to support the locals, right?
it is.
Because the stores. Can I just say something about shoes for a minute?
Yeah,
I could see a pair of shoes that I like, but it's only one. It's only one, so it won't be in my size, and then I can't. you
exactly.
know, and then going back to what you were talking about, like blouses or whatever, like a large here, I guess wherever the those blouses are coming from, is not a large really, as we know it,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes a large is really a medium,
Mhm.
and the extra
Mhm.
large is really a large,
Uh huh.
and I be holding, I said, this must be some kind of Chinese large, because
I was
it
gonna
doesn't.
say Jay. They gave Jay. Jay got like a free T-shirt from getting a motorcycle, and you know, it has like the motorcycle brand on it. And he was like, "I need a 2X. Tell me why it's snug on me. A 2X is snug on
Right,
me." I'm like, "No, because my regular size is like a medium large, relative, right? Because women clothing sizes are
right,
relative, but
right.
still a 2X and it's snug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know if we went a little off topic, but that is a part of life here. Like finding what you want, not being ripped off, right?
mm.
Trying to be safe, because not only do you want your physical safe, you want your valuables safe, and then just recognizing that for a lot of people, you're not home. You're not home. So
Mm.
that's been hard for me to not to wrap my head around, but I want to say that that's been painful for
Mm.
me. Yeah, that people would rather take advantage of you than look at you as a auntie or a cousin.
Mm.
Yeah. So all of that, like for people who are considering visiting Rwanda, we have a lot to offer, right? As far as helping navigate some of the things that we just talked about.
Mhm.
But also, I just don't want anything to get lost, like in what we're talking about, like as far as how beautiful this country is.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
I mean, I haven't been one place where I didn't see a beautiful view.
That's
Like,
true.
you know,
Everywhere you look.
the views may vary in beauty, but they're all beautiful.
Mhm.
and yeah, and it's very quiet. Like where we live in the village, right?
Mhm.
And at nighttime it's very quiet,
Mhm.
and that works for me. How does that work for you?
It works for
Do you
me. I
need
love
like,
it. You know, I like quiet. I
yeah,
like being in more of like a country type
yeah,
environment. You know, because
and
I know when we first got here, we were in the city, and it was pretty. It was a little more noisy.
oh my goodness, when we first got here, yes, and for people coming here, I would say, in order to really understand where you want to live, just get an Airbnb,
That's a good.
and then
That's a
travel
good tip.
around,
Yeah.
and again, we can help with all of these
Yeah.
things that we're talking about, but
Yes.
Yeah, like when we first got here, I mean, this is our third place that we're living in now, and we really like it here. But the first apartment that we lived in, beautiful place, beautiful. But we became targets there. Yeah, and there was security who targeted us. So, you have to be careful. Like when we first came here, we were buying things, for the apartment and stuff. And then I guess yeah, we were spending money, and we really shouldn't have been. And so that's another cautionary tale, right? Like, don't come here and just keep spending and spending because everything seems cheap. It is, but it will get to you.
And that's true. I mean, that was our experience, because we were like, wow, we can afford all of these things. And we're like, yeah, let's do this, let's do that, let's get this, let's get that. And then it catches up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, I gotta, because things are different here. There's
That's
different
right.
things that you have to think of when you're counting the cost, And it's interesting that you brought that up because there are other expats that I've spoken to that have gone through the same experience. They get here and then they spend, and then they're like, wait, we gotta
pull it in.
Yeah,
right?
We gotta like take it down a notch because you have to think about what kind of a life do you want to live here, Yeah.
But yeah, it's very important not to come in blind. Like if you can help it, like I was saying, and like that first apartment that we moved into, very, very nice, and everybody around us was, seemed kind, and then one night it just flipped on us. Like we were, I heard a knocking on the door, or was it a door? Was it our doorbell or a knocking? Whichever one it was. It was in the middle of the night, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I was in bed, but my husband stays up late. And this guy was at our door. It was our bell. This guy was at our door, and Bill was like, well, who is it? Like you could see him out of the peephole, but he wouldn't say anything. Yeah, it was really weird. And then he wouldn't go away. Right? And Bill was like, I'm going out there. And I'm like, do not go out there. That was the only time I felt fear. Like when he said he was going to open the door. And I said, do not open that door. So we called the landlord, and he responded well, but it took, like they have walk-around security. So we have security for the building, and then you have the community security. I don't remember what it's called. But they were taking a long time to get here. The security for the building was not answering. Their little booth was dark. I'm out on the balcony, like saying, security, security. Wow. Nobody's answering, right? For the first time in all the time we lived there, I think we lived there like 3 months or so, it was quiet. Like every other time is rowdy around here. People, it was so loud in that area. And but none of that was happening. And so I taught Ben into not opening the door. This guy was just standing there. And then when he tried to move, like to pretend that he wasn't there, the lights, the movement.
Oh, did you have a light sensor?
Yeah, they had sensors out there. It was a lovely apartment.
Yeah.
And so we knew he was there. Finally, someone called. Yeah, the landlord had to call the daytime security. And he came and turned on the lights in the booth. The other people who were supposed to be keeping things secure supposedly were asleep. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So they come running out. They get the guy, just to make the story as short as possible. They get the guy and they start beating him up.
Oh.
And Ben was like, no, don't do that. Because it was clear something was off with this dude.
Really?
Like, and but also it became clear that it was a whole setup. Okay? So that's another safety issue, right? Like when we come here, because things are cheap, don't be shopping a lot. Don't be doing all that. Like, like, move like you would move in the States. As far as, you know your personal safety is concerned.
Mhm.
Go ahead and do that
Mm.
till you become more acclimated, and then you figure out stuff. Like,
Yeah. And I think what
use
you said
wisdom.
before about being immigrants is really important to
Yeah,
know
yeah,
because there's a lot of things that they know that you're still learning,
right,
and so you're an easy target. You're an easy to
right,
take advantage of.
right.
And maybe it's not necessarily personal,
Hmm.
you know?
I don't
It's just
know.
an opportunity. But not everybody here is like that.
No,
There are a lot of, I mean, I would say a majority of the people here are upstanding citizens. But
I
you
would say
got
so
to,
too. I would say so too. But you
yeah,
got the ones who, I
yeah.
mean, so this was so interesting because it was dangerous on more than one level.
Mm,
Okay, so they got the guy and everything. You know, the landlord apologized and everything. All that security was fired.
mm.
Okay, so
So they took care of it.
they took care of it. But we were still leaving. At this point, this was right before we were moving out.
Oh, okay.
So what I want to say about it, when we got to our second apartment, um, it was bothering Ben because, he felt chumped, right? So um, I was in bed one night and he came in and he said, I know why the Most High didn't want me to open the door.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm listening. And he said, because we would have been deported. Because
Wow.
Ben intended on opening that door and flipping the dude over the balcony or something.
Uh,
We were on the fourth floor. Okay,
wow.
so he intended on fighting because he thought we were in danger. You know what I'm saying? He felt like we were in danger. So, he was like he was going to fight the dude. The dude wouldn't go away, right? And
Mm.
so the Most High revealed to him that that would have caused deportation
Mm.
for Ben, right?
Yeah.
Because even though the guy was wrong, he still wasn't a physical threat.
Mhm.
It just felt threatening. But he
Mhm.
didn't have a machete in his hand. He didn't have
Mm.
anything. He was
Mhm.
just standing there like it was crazy.
Yeah.
But that's important. And I just want to say another thing about uh, safety and that. Well, what I want to say is I learned of this brother who was attacked in a restaurant a
Mm.
few days ago because the
Oh
prices
wow.
went up. He he ordered a meal. Apparently, he ordered a meal that, let's say, it cost 15,000
Yeah.
francs. But when he got the bill said 35,000 francs.
Oh wow.
So he questioned them like, what, why? And so now one of the things that can happen here is that they don't update the menu. So in some places you may want to say, are these, especially in the smaller areas or whatever, you may want to ask to make sure that the prices are the same. But
Mhm.
that's what I learned. So he he got into a back and forth, right? And then I guess he was trying to leave, and the people tried to take his keys to stop him from leaving.
Mm.
And so it became a wrestle. Now it was three people on him, one guy,
Wow.
right? So he came out bleeding. He was scraped up and everything. And he said he never threw a punch, right? So apparently, the person who comes out bleeding is the one who is the victim.
Okay.
Okay. So, in saying all that, it's like if you harm somebody because you felt threatened by them, if you really hurt them, we're the ones who are gonna have to go.
Mm.
We're
Mhm.
the ones who will be in danger of deportation.
Mm.
And so the guy was saying that when the police came and they saw that he was bleeding, that was, that leveled the playing field for him,
Mm.
basically. And so these are things to be aware of. Yeah, again,
Absolutely.
they look after their people as they should.
Yeah. I.
You
Right.
know, you should look after your people. And so we just have to keep in mind that in many ways we're at the disadvantage when it comes to issues like I was just speaking of.
Right.
You know, we have to remember who we are and where we are, and familiarize ourselves with the laws of the land. Because we may think we could just do whatever we need to be done, but you know, whatever we need to do, but it may not be like that. It's not that straightforward.
Man, there's so much more we could talk about with safety. But
right, we
there's a big difference between police here and the police in the States.
Well, may I say something about the police?
Sure.
Too. When we were at our second apartment, there was oh my goodness, these people across the hall were like
yes,
crazy.
I remember.
Right, it was an Asian dude. I don't know if he was Chinese or Japanese, but he was Asian, and he had these girls in there, and these girls were fighting over him. I mean, really drawing blood. They were Rwandan girls, and it was very disgusting, right? So finally, you know, we literally thought that somebody was going to die up in there, and so we got up. Ben knocked on the door, and the property manager came and all this. But when they called the police did not answer. The police never answered.
They didn't answer.
No, they didn't.
What time was it?
It was in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night. Okay.
Close to to daybreak at this point. But even the landlord, his wife, when she came to apologize, you know, for the ruckus and everything, she went to the police station to file the report, and she's Eritrean. She went to the police station to file the report, and they were closed.
No.
So I was like, wow, is it that safe here that the police office can close? Like, I found it interesting.
That is interesting.
You know, I'm like, well, thank the Most High it wasn't worse. So she had to go, like, I think to another district. I'm not even sure how all that worked, but that's what she told us, that
that's interesting.
that the office was closed. So so you can, I guess, like, the bottom line is that we need to know, when you come to the African continent, it's a lovely, lovely place, but you can't come expecting America. You can't. You can't come with that expectation, because you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Yeah. So I think the other side of that too, because when you think about the experience of Americans in the United States, especially Black Americans in the United States, and their experience with the police and how different it is here. You know, I know my husband was talking about it a lot. Like, you know, when he first came here, the first couple of days, like, he was telling me he had to go to the ATM. Like, he needed money for the next day. He forgot about it. It was late, like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight, something like that. And he was just like, man, I got to go to the ATM. So he went outside and he went for a walk. And he saw a police officer and he got nervous, right? And was like, you know, just, okay, holding his breath, just kept walking, went to the ATM. The police officer, hey, how's it going? Like, just friendly. Go to the ATM, gets his money, walks back, sees the police officer again, have a good night. Like, it was easy. Cool. You know? It's a completely different experience where, you know, when Jay and I were in the States, it was almost like he was targeted. Like, they put a mark on him.
I would take almost out.
Yeah.
He was targeted.
He was targeted.
You know.
Right. Well, you know, as a white American, it's always secondhand for me, right? Like, I see it happening. Like, anytime, if I'm going somewhere by myself in America, it's whatever. But if I'm going somewhere with my husband in different places, it's a different experience.
Right.
But yeah, but coming here, it's everybody.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I love here about being here. Like, you see these police officers or these soldiers with weapons,
Yeah.
serious weapons,
Yeah.
just standing on the street.
Yeah, just chilling.
And I
But they're
don't
not
feel
coming
one
after
bit
you.
threatened.
They're not coming after anybody
Exactly.
unless you do something.
If you do something,
so,
yeah.
you
It's
know,
a
on
good
the
deterrent.
positive side too. So there's not like this weird like discriminatory thing happening here like in America,
Right.
which is a breath of fresh air. Like even I'm still getting used to it because even when I was on a motorcycle with my husband the other day, we were on a motorcycle and we were coming up behind a police officer, and I didn't know I was doing this, but my whole body clenched up, and my husband was like, can you let go? Like, what's going on? Because I'm sitting behind him, and I think my leg went in, and he's like, you can't keep squeezing me like that, and I'm like, oh, sorry. I was like, and then he just drove around the police officer and took off. And I was like, oh, wow, I thought you were going to stay behind him. And then I realized I was still in that American mindset. Like,
absolutely.
Like, oh, he's going to pull us over. Like,
Absolutely.
It was a moment. I was like, oh, wait, we're in Africa. We're fine. Everything's fine. Like,
yeah. So that
there's no
part
reason
is
for him to
good.
pull us over.
Right. Like you have to, you have to give a reason.
Yeah.
Nobody's just coming up to you because you're black, like to do you harm.
Yeah.
So that's the best part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that little police station being closed, I was like, well, that either speaks to, it's so safe in this area that we can shut down at a certain time, or I don't know what. But I thought that was interesting.
And then do you think when the police officers are on the scene, do you feel like they take care of business, or do you feel like it's...
I've never experienced it.
Okay.
I've never had to have officers on the scene. But I know that the community officers that I mentioned, they walk around, they just have I think they have those sticks.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they have like the vest on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the security. And they stop the traffic when the president's coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's the closest I've ever been to any police.
Yeah.
But they seem like they handle their business once they get there. Because remember, they're walking. So
Right.
I don't know where they were coming from.
Right.
But yeah, so safety is still an issue. So yeah, so I would say just move like you're in the States, meaning, you don't have to be paranoid, but be aware.
I was going to say, I feel like even after, everything we just mentioned, I still feel really safe here.
Me too, but I'm just saying,
it's just being aware.
Yeah, be aware. Don't have your valuables out in where people don't think oh, my phone in my back pocket, I'm good. You wouldn't do that most places. Well, at least in the cities, in the States, you wouldn't do that. So
that's true. New York City, I've never been, but
Philly,
I think I would be more cautious.
Yeah. So err on the side of cautious.
Yep, and life will be easy, really, honestly.
Put your stuff up.
Yeah.
When you go shopping, take, if you have house help, take that person with you. If you have a driver, that's great too, that's willing to get out the car and help you navigate.
Yeah.
Because a part of safety is not being overcharged too, because that will happen.
That's true.
You need to know how to negotiate. But how can you negotiate if you don't know
the language? Yeah.
Well, not only that, how can you negotiate if you don't know what this thing that you're purchasing is worth?
Yeah, the
from
value
the jump.
of it. Yeah.
Because I've been overcharged. It hasn't happened in a long time because, I have Divine and Shaka.
Yeah.
I can't pull Napoleon into this part because he doesn't really speak English. But, he knows how to get us around and he's honest. But yeah, I wouldn't go to Camargo or any other market that doesn't actually have tags on the product without a logo.
That's true. Yeah, and I guess one last thing I could say about that, the other day, because when we first moved here, I found that really hard for me, the whole negotiation piece, which after talking to some friends, that's pretty commonplace in a lot of different countries, not
Right.
just Africa, not just on the continent of Africa, but
Right.
even in South America. Like negotiation is just a cultural, like it's just a way of like bartering, which I was really uncomfortable with because I like just a price tag. This is how much it is, you know, just keep it clean and cut. But I think after I've been here, I've kind of gotten used to it a little bit, and maybe I'm a little stronger. But even knowing how much something costs, right? I went out with someone on Sunday. We went to Kigali Heights, which normally if I'm with my regular driver, it's like maybe 35K from where we are. But we had gone to another place, which we were looking for a bookstore to go to. So we went to this place and we found it in such a way that we weren't actually able to go in. So we kind of had to recalibrate and come up with a different plan and find a different bookstore. So I knew of a bookstore in Kigali Heights. So we drove from that place to Kigali Heights. And then we drove home. Now, we had a different driver because our regular driver apparently had family things going on. So he called his friend to come pick us up. No problem. It was a nice ride, very clean car. He was a good driver. No problem at all whatsoever. Very kind, punctual, all that. And then he got back and he tried to charge us 60K.
Oh, wow.
For the drive. And I said, wait, what? What did you say? I said, did you say 60? And he gave me this look like, oh, no, I said 50. And I looked at him again. And I was like, 40.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me like, are you sure? He's like, no, are you sure? I said, when my other driver comes, it's only 35, 40K. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. 40K, no problem. But had I not known, I probably would have been like,
you would have gave him the 60 and a tip.
Yeah.
And I'm all for paying people fairly, so it's not about that.
It's not
just about
that.
you being overcharged.
Exactly, because my thing is like normally my driver would have paid me, or he would have charged me 35K. But I was thinking in my mind like we went to this one place and then we drove to another place. So I was trying to be considerate. Like I'm not just going to charge him 30K when we went to a couple of different places. To 40, in my mind, 40 was good. It was a fair amount. And he knew it was a fair amount because he didn't really fight me on it. So, but but once you know, you know.
Right.
And like I said, like I feel pretty safe here. You know,
Me too.
after just kind of knowing how the culture is and just like how things work here.
I feel pretty safe here as well. I just think that you still need to be aware of your surroundings. Especially when you first get here before you understand how things really work. But may I say something about the good side? Like, I don't mind negotiating now that I know I need to negotiate.
Yeah.
But I love that here you can, even the rent can be negotiated.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to accept the cost that, the price that somebody gives you. You can be like, oh, well, suppose we do,
Yes.
and I think that's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Once I get over the uncomfortableness of it, it gives you a sense of like autonomy, I guess, to be able to work with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to know most people expect it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because
Yeah,
it's a
they're not
part of
mad
the
at
culture.
you.
Yeah, they're not mad at you. And like Napoleon, our driver, he will say, "Is that your best price?" He be like, "Yes," because then I won't make any money. And I get that.
Yeah.
You're a business. You're doing business.
Yes.
And if you're not making any money, then you're a charity.
A charity. And we're not out here trying to take advantage of people.
Right.
And I think that's the other thing, learning the true value of something and then also recognizing that these people also need to make a profit.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
We want to add value. We don't want to, take from people.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important.
Agreed.
So should we close on that?
Yeah, I think we covered all the safety topics. Let's close on that.
Okay.
For sure. All right, y'all. We're out of here. Stay safe.
Yeah, right. Stay safe.
Stay safe wherever you are.